Hello everyone, I'm Amaal Alruwaily, and in this video I'm going to talk about biodiesel fuel. This video is a project for Global Environmental Health 2018 spring semester. In this video, I'm going to define the biodiesel fuel, talk about the sources used in producing biodiesel fuel, then I'll discuss the production cycle of biodiesel fuel, and then we will focus on the impact on the environment. After that, I'm going to end with the production and consumption in the United States. Figure 1, you will see the sources used in producing biodiesel fuel in the US. Figure 2, you will see the biodiesel production cycle. Table 1 will discuss the impact of biodiesel fuel in the environment, and especially the carbon dioxide emission from energy consumption by source. Figure 3, we will see the trends in biodiesel production and consumption in the US. Table 2, it's the regional biodiesel production and it is worldwide. Figure 4, the US biodiesel production capacity by each state. Biodiesel fuel is a renewable fuel that can be used instead of the diesel fuel made from petroleum. Biodiesel can be made from vegetable oils and animal fat. In Figure 1, you could see the type of seeds or sources that used in the United States. As you can see in the pie chart, 55% of the seeds that are used is soybean oil. After that comes the corn oil, 14%, canola, 13%, yellow grease, 13%, and last comes the animal fat, 5%. In case you're wondering what is yellow grease, it's the recycled vegetable oil or waste vegetable oil, and it's recovered from the businesses and industry that use the oil for cooking. So instead of them throwing this oil, they can recollect it again and produce biodiesel fuel. In Figure 2, we will discuss the biodiesel production cycle. So as I said in the previous slide, in the United States, 55% of the people who manufacture biodiesel fuel use soybean plants, soybean oils. So they harvest the seed, extract the crude vegetable oil from it, refine it, and then they will add alcohol to the refined vegetable oil. And this process called bear with me here, it's hard for me to pronounce, transesterification, and this process converts fats and oil into biodiesel and glycerine. So it produces two products, monoalkyl ester and glycerol. Glycerol usually used in the food industry and cosmetic industry. If you are familiar with Vaseline, they use glycerol to produce this product. Moving on. So the monoalkyl ester is the biodiesel fuel. So they use the biodiesel fuel in vehicle, and vehicle will produce energy and CO2. CO2 will be absorbed by the plants in oil crops. So soybean and palm oil tree absorb carbon dioxide as they grow. This absorption of CO2 by these plants they will absorb the CO2 emission, and they will contribute to lowering the greenhouse gases. That's why they consider biodiesel fuel a renewable source of energy. So now we're going to discuss the environmental impact of biodiesel fuel. So there's two points of view in the research and the people who suggest it. First, we need to clarify that biodiesel is non-toxic compared to petroleum diesel fuel. The emissions from it produce fewer pollutants such as particle, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and according to the EPA, biodiesel may reduce greenhouse gases. So in Table 1, we compare coal, natural gas, petroleum, biodiesel. We compare the carbon dioxide emissions from these energy sources. And this is from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. And as you can see, this numbers from 2012 until 2017. And you can see here that biodiesel fuel, the emissions from biodiesel is way lower than the emissions from petroleum, natural gas, and coal. So we could say that the carbon dioxide emission from biodiesel fuel does not really contribute in greenhouse gases. On the other hand, there's the nitrogen oxide emissions from burning a gallon of biodiesel may be slightly higher than emissions from burning a gallon of petroleum diesel. Having said that, researchers now working on solving this problem and see how they could reduce the emissions of nitrogen oxide. The other point of view, or the other spectrum of the impact of biodiesel on the environment, other researchers suggest that producing biodiesel fuel could lead to greenhouse gases increase. So in many parts of the world, they use large areas of forest, they burn it, clear it, and grow soybeans, palm oil tree to make biodiesel in these lands. And this could really harm the environment and contribute in climate change. So we could look at it. If we want a renewable source of fuel, we should not do it in a dirty way, burning lands to produce this oil, because this could contribute in the climate change. However, this act it's illegal in the United States. So, and the production of biodiesel in the United States actually increased since 2008, and I will discuss this matter in the next slide. So, the EPA consider the biodiesel fuel as a renewable source of fuel and energy. So the production in the United States have been increasing since 2010. As you can see in figure 2, in 2008, the production of biodiesel is the green line. So it decreased a little, and then after 2010 it increased significantly, and it increased by 129% from 2008 to 2016 in the US. The yellow line is the consumption in the United States, and also, as you can see, in 2010 increased significantly, and in 2013 the consumption of biodiesel fuel exceeded the production in the United States, so they started to export biodiesel fuel. In table 2, I just wanted you to see how much does the United States produce compared to the worldwide. So in the United States, they produce 15% of the biodiesel fuel, and European Union is the lead. They produce 43%, and I read that mostly France and Germany who produce the biodiesel fuel. The last slide, I just want you to see the production by each state, the production of biodiesel fuel, to just give you a look of how much involved the US in producing the biodiesel fuel. So the dark green, these are the states who produce 9 to 11 million gallons annually: Texas, California, Missouri, and Iowa. The light green is the states who produce 1 to 4 million gallons annually, and as you can see, most of the states, they do produce and consume biodiesel fuel. So that gives you a look that the United States do consume biodiesel fuel, and they do see it as a good source of fuel, and it's a good source. Also, it's not contributing to climate change. It's environmental friendly. In summary, biodiesel fuel is a renewable source of fuel. 55% of biodiesel production in the US comes from soybean oil. The technical name for biodiesel fuel is monoalkyl ester, and research suggests that biodiesel fuel is good for environment, and others suggest that it could contribute to the climate change. However, this did not stop the US from producing biodiesel fuel, and production increased by 129% from 2008 to 2016. The consumption exceeded the production in 2013, and the US produced 14% of the world's biodiesel fuel. And lastly, most of the states produce biodiesel fuel. Thank you for listening for my environmental project, and please have a wonderful life. Thank you.